We're back at my brother-in-law's house, and what you're looking at is a 1976 Triumph Spitfire that's been heavily, and the emphasis is on heavily altered. I'm going to take a close-up here. If you can see the bubble in the hood, there's a reason for that, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But this car has been totally taken off its frame, had the restoration work done, and been altered. The thing that I want to quickly point out, you'll notice there's still a little bit of finish work to be done, but if you look at the shifter, notice how the shifter is kind of at an odd angle. That's because of what sits underneath the hood. We'll get to that in a minute. But here's the real coup de grace. Look at these wheel wells. These were all hand built by Randy. The wheel wells were flared to accept. What are the wheels that are on this, Randy?
Those are Porsche rims.
Porsche rims that are on a 76 Triumph Spitfire.
But the flares are all steel in that class.
Steel hand-formed wheel flares. Let's go down the front here to get a real idea of just how trick that looks. Can you open up the hood compartment and tell us about what you got lying under the hood, Randy? So tell us what's sitting here.
I've got to grab this.
Okay. Okay, Randy, tell us what's sitting under the hood here.
Well, the original engine in these cars is a 1.5 liter little 4-cylinder converted tractor motor. And while it's a wonderful little engine, it just doesn't have a lot of power for freeways and higher speed cruising. So I pulled that out and put in a 2.5 liter Ford. It's a twin spark plug per cylinder engine. It's about triple the original horsepower, and not very much weight difference. Had to manufacture a completely new intake manifold.
Why don't you point to that and show us exactly what you had to alter?
This is the intake manifold here. It's an aluminum tapered manifold. The original cast aluminum manifold was very large, bulky, came up over the top of the engine, stuck out of the top of the hood about 6 inches, and was just pretty darn ugly up there. So just manufactured a completely new intake manifold, relocated the mass airflow sensors and all the rest of the components to try and get things down under the hood.
And then let's show you what he had to do to the hood itself. Can you lower that hood?
The hood on a Spitfire does not have a bubble or a hood scoop in it. The bulge you see in the hood right there is very similar to one that's on a Triumph GT6, which is a Spitfire that has a smaller 6-cylinder engine in it and a hardtop. And so we just had to manufacture a kind of a hood bulge that's very similar to that. Although Spitfires didn't have one, there it is. So it looks fairly stock and is very close to what the Triumph design was.
And tell us about the shifter that you built here, custom built the shifter. Is that to accompany?
The shifter right there, the transmission is a much larger, more, well, it's a higher gear ratio, much stronger transmission. It's a T5 transmission. And the gear shifter actually has the funny angle to get around your leg. It's a very, very small car. And it brings the shifter out of the way. It becomes very, very comfortable where it is, but it just relocates the shifter because of the new powertrain and the smallness of the car.
So notice the several angles that he manufactured into the shifter to make it work.
And now it's in a beautifully comfortable spot.
And again, just wanted to get an emphasis on these hand-built, hand-formed steel wheel flares that Randy incorporated in this car. What a gorgeous little 1976 Triumph Spitfire convertible. Thanks, Randy.
You bet.